Hi, welcome to This Week in Ames. I'm Susan Guiazda. On today's show, we'll check in with the Ames Convention and Visitors Bureau on the Community Grant Program. My guest today is Allison Walter with the Ames Convention and Visitors Bureau. Allison, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So we have a great topic today for our show. It's all about the community grants that your organization facilitates each year. But first, tell us a little bit about the Ames Convention and Visitors Bureau, what it is and what you do.
Okay, well, the Ames Convention and Visitors Bureau works to bring guests, visitors to the community, and we work with organizations to bring events to the community that will draw visitors to the community, as well as working with the local organizations that are already doing events that appeal to visitors.
So we have both internal events going on right now and external events, people coming in.
Right.
This is a community that has a lot of events.
Yes, it is. It's been a busy summer and it will continue to be a busy year in 2014.
So the Community Grant Program actually helps promote even more events.
Yes, the Community Grant Program was established, 7 years ago. And what the Ames Convention and Visitors Bureau does is we set aside 5% of the hotel motel tax income that we receive, and we set that apart into a separate fund. And then we have a grant process, application process, and organizations can apply for money to help fund their events and other projects.
So you said this has been going on for a few years. What are some examples maybe people would know about some of the events that have been funded in the past?
Sure. A real variety of things. For example, the Octagon Art Festival in the past has been funded. This year, the Maximum Ames Music Festival, which will happen in September, is being funded. The Old Town Historic District funded a brochure, a walking tour of the district, and they got funding from the Community Grant Program to print those brochures for people. So a wide variety of things.
And the purpose again of the grant is to increase activity, or
yes, a lot of what the Convention and Visitors Bureau does is tied to hotel motel rooms, because that's how we're funded. But the Community Grant Program does not specifically have to be connected to events that have overnight visitors, but just general events and projects for the better quality life for the Ames community.
Right, and one of them I think that most people can relate to would be the fireworks.
Yes, the annual fireworks have been funded through the Ames Community Grant Program since its inception.
And you're constantly looking for new organizations to step up and bring new ideas to the plate. What's the time frame?
We have an application process. The applications are available now on our website, and that's visitames.com. If you go to the home page, you'll see a button that says Ames Community Grant Program, and it's an application process. It's a very easy application, just 5 pages, limited amount of space to write. You don't have to write a book. It's not your typical long involved grant application. So you turn in your application by October 1st, and then we have a committee of community grant member organizations that are represented on the committee to review the grant applications, and they meet during the fourth quarter. They make a recommendation to our board of directors, and then the board of directors approves the recommendation, and all of the funds will be available in January of 2014. So these are for events happening next year.
So Allison, if I'm applying for a grant, what percentage of my project cost could the grant be?
Sure, it's a matching grant, so you have to have 50% of the funds from your organization, and then the community grant can fund up to 50% of the other 50%.
Is there a maximum amount?
Grants are awarded based on the project and the request, so there really is not a maximum or a minimum. You can request up to 50% of your budget.
So to apply for a grant, do I have to be part of a nonprofit organization or a 501c3?
No, actually, the Ames Community Grant Program is also open to for-profit businesses. As long as your event or project is open to the public and you have the other 50% of the grant funds available, matching funds, you can apply for an Ames Community Grant.
Well, there's a lot of great examples of all the fun activities that have been brought to the community because of this grant. If I'm correct, I think Oktoberfest was one that we funded, that the Arts Walk, like you mentioned, just a really fun things. The annual race out at Ada Hayden.
Yep, and that's happening. That's a great example of an event that got seed money the first year or two of the event and now has grown so that it does not require grant funding. It's grown to a large enough event to be on its own.
Another thing I noticed about events that receive funding is that sometimes there's the latest and greatest, that every year they've kind of upped the ante and they bring something else to the table.
Yes, and the Community Grant Committee, as they're reviewing applications, always looks for what is new with this event and how have you enhanced your event, or how will you be able to enhance your event with these community grant funds.
Well, it's really a great opportunity for some entrepreneur or organization that has a community event to get some funding. Again, what are those dates for applying?
Sure, applications are due by October 11th. Decisions will be made and organizations will be notified by December 31st, and grant funds will be available starting in January. So it's projects and events for 2014, and applications are available online at visitames.com. And it's very simple, fillable PDF, easy to do.
Great. Well, Allison, thanks for telling us about it. We look forward to those events in 2014.
Thank you.
Well, it's hard to believe it's mid-August already and it's time for back to school. So remember those little ones as you're driving around schools. They may dart out behind cars and be not paying attention. It's an exciting time of year for them. Also remember, if you'd like to learn more about local government, once again, the Ames Citizens Academy will be starting in the fall. You can learn more about that on our website at cityofames.org. Well, that's our show for today. Thanks for watching, and tune in next week for This Week in Ames.